Today we are going to discuss about the next process of asexual reproduction, and that is the fragmentation process. Okay, now its word indicates, student, fragmentation means what? That is, the fragments are forming. Now, in which organism this fragmentation process takes place? So, in your syllabus, you have the fragmentation in Spirogyra. Now, what this Spirogyra is? In 9th standard, in topic plant kingdom, the division Thallophyta we discussed. Okay. So, Thallophyta means what? They are commonly called as algae. So, they are lower plants. Lower means what? They have the simple body structure and they are aquatic. So this Spirogyra is a plant which is an aquatic plant, right? It grows in a fresh water and it forms the filamentous structure. Spirogyra ये plants कैसे होते हैं? They are filamentous. ऐसे filaments होते हैं उनके, right? And they have the spirally arranged chloroplast. We know everything about the Spirogyra, right? Now, what is fragmentation? In this kind of reproduction, the organism's body divides into the pieces. It gets cuts into the pieces and it happens intentionally. कैसे होता है ये? Intentionally, मतलब knowingly. अब आप बोलोगे प्लांट को कैसे पता चलेगा कि वो मैच्योर हुए कि नहीं, उसको तो मतलब नर्वस सिस्टम वगैरह नहीं है. But it is a natural phenomenon where once the Spirogyra become mature, from its internodes, it cuts into the pieces. Okay, it get cuts into the pieces on maturation. Now, once it get cut into the pieces, for example, here is the filament of the Spirogyra, which cut into the pieces, right? Now, from the each piece of the Spirogyra, the new filament grows. अब जैसे कि ये एक सिंगल Spirogyra है, okay? समझो ये 3 pieces में cut हो गया, right? It get cut into the pieces. Now we have the 3 pieces separate. This is 1, this is 2nd, and this is 3rd, right? Now from the each piece, the new Spirogyra develops, the whole organism develops, right? And this is called fragmentation. Now what exactly happens once the Spirogyra become mature? From its internode, say for example, this is one of the internode, this part is again one of the internode. So from this internode, it get cut into the pieces. And once it divides into the pieces, after that, by the process of intercalary mitosis. See, what is the process? Intercalary mitosis. Mitosis मतलब आपको पता है क्या है? It is a kind of cell division in which the chromosome number remains constant. Okay. So by intercalary mitosis, the cells divides. अब जैसे कि ये cut part है, right? So यहाँ से new cell develop होगा. यहाँ से एक new cell develop होगा. So in this way, by the intercalary mitosis, the cells divides to form many new cells. And hence the piece develops into the whole new organism, the whole new filament of the Spirogyra. And this is the asexual method of reproduction. This is the asexual method of reproduction in Spirogyra. Now the Spirogyra, children, it also reproduces sexually. ऐसा नहीं है कि Spirogyra सिर्फ asexual reproduction ही करता है. It also reproduces sexually. How? Say for example, here is the one filament of the Spirogyra, and here is another Spirogyra. In the sexual reproduction, these two spirogyra joins together like this. This is one spirogyra to which next spirogyra, another spirogyra joins. Okay, and they joins their body together like this. Okay, by forming the bridge between the two spirogyra. The one spirogyra cell wall get connect with the another spirogyra's cell wall, right? And in this way, the two spirogyra get joined together. Now, from one spirogyra, the cytoplasm get transferred to the another spirogyra, right? The material get transferred from one spirogyra to another spirogyra. The spirogyra which releases cytoplasm into the another spirogyra is called male spirogyra. उसको हम क्या consider करते हैं? Male spirogyra. And the spirogyra which receives the cytoplasm from another spirogyra can be considered as female spirogyra. Okay, in this way they also reproduces sexually. Another means of sexual reproduction in spirogyra is, say for example, here is the one cell of the spirogyra and here is another cell connected. For example, from one of the cell, if cytoplasm flows towards the another cell along with some nuclear material also, so this cell is called as male spirogyra cell, and the cell which receives the material from the another cell of the same spirogyra is called as female spirogyra. So in this way also the sexual reproduction takes place in single filament of the spirogyra also, right? But you have only a sexual reproduction in your syllabus for spirogyra. So just you should know that spirogyra can reproduce by two means, asexually as well as sexually, right? So remember these two things, but you have to remember the asexual reproduction only in detail because this is there only in your syllabus. Okay, so what you have to remember, spirogyra is a filamentous aquatic algae. Okay, on maturation it intentionally divides into some pieces, and from each piece the new spirogyra body develop. Okay, from each piece new spirogyra develop by intercalary mitotic division. Okay, or simply you can write by intercalary mitosis. Okay, so this is about the next method of asexual, and that is called fragmentation. Let's discuss the next method, and that is called regeneration. Okay, regeneration. Regeneration means what? Re means again. Okay, and generation means what? Formation of the new, right? So this process also occurs in some higher organism. Okay, say for example lizard, okay, then starfish, right? Starfish, and it also takes place in some lower organism like planaria. This is the image of the regeneration in planaria, right? So let's recall what planaria is. Children, if you remember, we discussed a planaria in 9th standard in a phylum Platyhelminths. Okay, Platyhelminths. If you remember, what Platyhelminth stands for? Flatworm. Flatworms. Okay, so this planaria is a flatworm, right? It is a flat. And how long its size is? It is approximately 15 centimeter to 18 centimeter, right? Depending on its age, right? So its approximate size is about 15 to 18 centimeter, and it is also fresh water फ्रेश वाटर एक्वाटिक ऑर्गेनिज्म। कहाँ मिलेगा आपको ये प्लानेरिया? फ्रेश वाटर में। एक्वाटिक ऑर्गेनिज्म है, फ्लैटवर्म है, राइट? नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस, this organism's body, if get cut into the pieces, okay, if the planaria get cut into the pieces, from the each piece the new whole planaria develops. So for example, here I have one planaria, okay, and if I cut this planaria into the two pieces, from the each piece the new planaria regenerates. This process also occurs in some higher organisms I told you, like a lizard. आपने वॉल लिजार्ड का देखा होगा। अगर वॉल लिजार्ड का अगर हम टेल कट कर देते हैं, राइट, सो न्यू टेल रीजनरेट होता है। जो कट टेल हो चुका है, जो टेल कट हो चुका है लिजार्ड का, उससे क्या होता है? न्यू टेल बनता है लिजार्ड में। बट इट नेवर हैपेंस दैट द न्यू वोल ऑर्गेनिज्म जनरेट्स फ्रॉम द कट टेल। ऐसा नहीं होता है कि ये कट टेल है, ओके, और इससे क्या होगा? न्यू लिजार्ड डेवलप होगा, ऐसे नहीं होता है। बट जो लिजार्ड से जो टेल कट हो चुका है, ओके, दैट कैन रीजनरेट। ऐसे क्यों, ये बाद में देखेंगे। फर्स्ट वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट द रीजनरेशन इन प्लानेरिया, राइट? So planaria is a lower organism, so it have the tissue level, or we can say some organ systems are developed, but the bones and skeleton structure is not there. So what happens if unknowingly the body of the planaria is get cut into the pieces? Then the each piece develops into the whole new organism, and hence of course it happens non-intentionally. It happens non-intentionally. मतलब ये प्लानरिया नहीं चाहता है कि उसकी बॉडी कट हो जाए. It happens accidentally. It happens non-intentionally, right? As the number of pieces are more, then the more new planaria will develop. Say for example, if the one planaria is cut into approximately 300 pieces, then from 300 pieces, the new 300 whole planaria can regenerate. Now let's discuss what is the exact mechanism, what happens actually at the cellular level, due to which the cut piece develops into whole new organism. So say for example, here I have one planaria. Okay, here are the eyes of the planaria. It have the rudimentary eyes, means just eye spot. हमारे जैसे नहीं होते हैं complex eyes, they just have eye spot there. Okay, and if I cut this planaria into the two pieces, right? So here I have the first half like this, and here I have its another half, right? Now what happens from this cut part? From this cut part, the cells divides multiple times. From this cut part, the cell divide multiple times and form the lost body part. Okay, इससे क्या बन जाता है? जो part lost हो चुका है, that forms, right? But children, it is not enough that the lost part is developed. It should grow in a specific manner. It should grow in such a manner that the new tissues regenerates, right? And hence the lost body part can develop again. So yes, it happens in a specific manner. And what is that? Let's see. For example, here I have the first half from the planaria. Now what happens from this cut part? The cells divide many times, right? And these cells are specialized cell. These cells are specialized cell, and the specialized cells are called as regenerative cells. What the name of the cells? The cells are called regenerative cells. So this regenerative cells divides and keep on divides and forms what they forms? They form blastema. क्या बनाता है ये? It develops the blastema. Blastema मतलब क्या होता है? For example, ये फर्स्ट हाफ है प्लानारिया का। ओके, तो यहाँ पे ऐसे मास ऑफ सेल डेवलप हो जाएगा, ऐसा मास ऑफ सेल डेवलप हो जाता है, जहाँ पे टिश्यू कैसे अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड, अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड मतलब अभी ये प्रॉपरली ऑर्गेनाइज्ड नहीं हुए हैं। So that is called the mass of the cell blastema, and this blastema cells then differentiate. ये cells क्या होते हैं? Differentiate. जो प्लानारिया का लॉस्ट बॉडी पार्ट है उसमें कौन से सेल्स होने चाहिए, उस सेल्स में वो क्या होते हैं? डिफरेंशिएट. दे डिफरेंशिएट इनटू द लॉस्ट बॉडी पार्ट्स ऑफ द सेल, and hence later on the lost part develop in the same way as the original organism have. Okay, so you have to remember few words like specialized cell, regenerative cell, okay, that divides to form the blastema. Okay, and this blastema cells then differentiate into the lost body part. In this way, from each piece the new organism develop, and this is the process called regeneration. Okay, it occurs in some lower organism such as we discussed planaria. Okay, then hydra also. Okay, starfish, some higher also, higher organism also like starfish and etc. Okay, hydra also divides by the process of regeneration. Now we have the next method. And children, the next method is budding. Okay, budding. Before discussing budding in yeast, I would like to tell you that Hydra organism, which I have mentioned in the previous topic, whose structure is somewhat like this. Hydra, children, you know very well. It belongs to coelenterate. Okay, it has some tentacle-like structure like this. Okay, so this is the Hydra you know very well. This Hydra also reproduce by regeneration, as I told you. Okay, but Hydra can also reproduce by budding. Okay, देखो ऐसे तो नहीं होगा ना कि जब ऑर्गेनिज्म की बॉडी कट होगी तभी वो रिप्रोड्यूस करेगा, ऐसा तो नहीं होगा ना, कुछ तो उनमें होगा कि जिससे वो नेचुरली मतलब रिप्रोडक्शन कर सकते हैं। तो ये जो हमारा प्लानरिया था, इट ऑल्सो रिप्रोड्यूसेस इंटेंशनली स्टूडेंट। वो जो हमने कट वाली बात की थी कि हाँ ये प्लानरिया है, ये कट हो गया, फ्रॉम ईच पीस न्यू प्लानरिया रिजनरेट्स, दैट इज ओके, बट हाउ इट रिप्रोड्यूस इंटेंशनली, ऐसा तो नहीं होगा ना कि जब तक प्लानरिया कट नहीं होगा तो वो रिप्रोडक्शन ही नहीं कर पाएगा, ऐसे तो नहीं होगा। सो इट ऑल्सो रिप्रोड्यूसेस इंटेंशनली। हाउ? ऑन मैचुरेशन द प्लानरिया डिटैचेस इट्स टेल। प्लानरिया क्या करता है, खुद से उसकी टेल, नीचे का जो लोअर पार्ट होता है उसको क्या कर देता है, डिटैच कर देता है अपने आप, ऑटोमेटिकली, नोइंगली, राइट, इट डिटैचेस। और जैसे ये डिटैच हो जाता है फ्रॉम द कट पार्ट, फ्रॉम द डिटैच पार्ट न्यू प्लानरिया रीजनरेट्स, दैट इज द नेचुरल प्रोसेस ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन। ओके, तो वैसे ही हाइड्रा में कैसे होता है, अब ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि ये हाइड्रा है, ओके, और अगर इसको कट ही नहीं हुए, इसको अगर कट ही नहीं हुए तो ये रीजनरेट नहीं होगा, ऐसा नहीं है। तो और कौन से मेथड है जिससे ये रिप्रोड्यूस हो सकता है? सो दैट इज बर्डिंग। ओके, बर्डिंग से भी हाइड्रा क्या होता है, रिप्रोड्यूस होता है। सो बर्डिंग इन ईस्ट वी विल डिस्कस आफ्टर द बर्डिंग इन हाइड्रा, दैट वी विल डिस्कस आफ्टरवर्ड्स। फर्स्ट वी विल डिस्कस बर्डिंग इन ईस्ट। पहले छोटे से स्टार्ट करते, छोटे ऑर्गेनिज्म से, फिर हायर की तरफ जाएंगे। सो हियर वी हैव the budding in yeast. Now children, what is yeast? You know very well, yeast is unicellular fungi. yeast मतलब क्या है, ये एक unicellular fungus है, right? fungus मतलब पता है ना, you know fungi very well, kingdom fungi, saprophytic organism, right? सो इसका साइंटिफिक नेम क्या है? ईस्ट का साइंटिफिक नेम है सैकेरोमाइसिस सेरिविसी. Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Okay, this will be there in the notes, right? So this Saccharomyces cerevisiae means yeast. How it reproduce? It reproduces by the process of budding. ये यूनिसेल्युलर होने के बावजूद ये फिशन से नहीं डिवाइड होगा स्टूडेंट. Yesterday what we learned? Unicellular organisms divide by fission. That is binary fission and multiple fission. But yeast reproduces by budding. Let's see how it occurs. So here in the A part, the mature yeast is there, parent yeast. The small growth is formed from the parent cell and that is called as the bud. What happens in the first step of the reproduction by budding in yeast? The organism protrude from its cell membrane. Okay, the small growth form from the parent yeast, right? And this small growth is called as bud. It is called as bud. Now, in the next step, the elongation of the nucleus takes place. Nucleus elongates, right? And in the next step of the cell division, the nucleus divides to form two daughter nuclei. One remains in the parent yeast, right? And another goes into the bud. As the nucleus elongates, later on it divides into two nucleus. One remains in the parent yeast cell and one goes into the developing bud. Now, by the time the bud grows in the size and form the new yeast, but this yeast does not get detached from the parent. It remains there. It remains there. It remains attached. And again it develops a new bud on its surface. Again it grows in the size. Again it remains attached. Right? If it matures, then it get detaches by the time. Right? But this remain attached to the newly formed yeast. And in this way, the chain formation takes place during the budding process. Right? Once the yeast become mature, one yeast get detaches from the chain and it can shows the independent existence. Once it get detaches, it shows independent existence, right? So in this way, the budding in yeast takes place. The steps are same. Just you have to add one more point that the parent organism form the small growth on its surface and that is called the bud. Next, in next step, the nucleus elongates to form two daughter nuclei. One remains in the parent cell and one goes into the bud. Now the bud grows in the size and become mature. It forms the new bud on its surface. And in this way, the chain formation takes place in the budding in a yeast. Okay, and once the organism become mature, once the yeast cell become mature, it detaches from the parent yeast and shows independent existence. So this is about the budding in yeast, right? So this is about our today's lecture, children. Today what we discussed? Today we discuss about the regeneration in planaria, right? Fragmentation in spirogyra and budding in yeast, right? Now children, if you have any